September. Shindikane kwemishina lya Kristo Yesu n'empingino ya shingiro. Chakutanga twalomba mama makumwe kwambala ko twakutanga abantu. Mwe walesa abakutangirira mu kintu kyonse tufo kwendamo. Tata tangire niko kwa kwambala abantu bene. Walikwambala ko timwe kwambala. Ubukuru bwenu omusenga bufisuluke bukungu. Ukutatikane kushira. Gamule na kwebo mushine abakristo Yesu bashimye. Nisoro Kristo Yesu. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much. We realize that time is not our ally. Maybe I will ask you a brief introduction so that we know. Maybe we'll start today so that people can know. Just first one.
You can just tell us the categories of people who
Oh,
take time.
sure. I think we have both categories of people. We have the honorable ministers, we have the PSCs, we have the directors, we have different categories of people. We have got from means of lands and the local people, I think. And then we have got the affected representatives, those who are affected in the Daar farm, the so-called Daar farm.
Maybe you can just introduce mainly the affected representatives. We see them, and the farm, the other side. Yeah. Those we want to see them.
I think you can, yeah, those people are coming.
Thank you, Honorable. So maybe we can start with the affected farmers. We may just simply stand as a group so that the Honorable Ministers can see you. So the affected farmers, thank you very much. Representatives from Daar farm, if you have any. Thank you very much. Representatives.
Just alone?
Yeah, yes, I'm just coming.
Thank you. Representatives from the Royal Highnesses, if you have any. Thank you very much. Government officials, local government officials from mpongwe. Very much. Area councillors present. Okay. We also have, I think I've noticed, former area members of parliament. Maybe you can just also stand. Thank you very much. We've got security services.
Those can just mention them.
We have the police, Zambia police. At least our colleagues are in uniform, it's very easy to identify them.
Party officials.
Party officials, district party officials. Thank you very much. Provincial party officials. Thank you very much. I think that the media, we have the media, I think. They also stand. I think that is pretty much everyone. And we also have our area member of parliament, Honorable Gregory Ngowani. We've got the deputy PS, Copacabana province. Officials from the Ministry of Lands.
If we can also stand. So people can see.
Thank you very much. District Commissioner. That's District Commissioner from mpongwe. Council Chairperson from mpongwe.
Thank you, Honorable
all been covered this side, unless I've left anyone.
Now you have left my sister, the council, the council secretary.
She will charge me.
People should know that this is the council secretary.
That is our council secretary, Madam Mary Lapken, Madam Mary Moore Lapken.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you. That's pretty much everyone from this side. Okay. We also have our iTable. We are privileged and honored this afternoon to have our provincial Copper Belt Minister, Honorable Elisha Matamba, with us. We also have Honorable Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Honorable Sylvia Masebo.
Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas.
We also have the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon. So we'll open the meet before extending seek guidance. Okay, so we Honorable, I'm told that you will take it up from here, Honorable Provincial Minister.
Okay, let's do this. First of all, we want to apologize that we are starting a meeting. But we are supposed to have this meeting in the morning, but we had other issues. We had a funeral in Luansha, our youth chairman died, and then you saw us going to the chief, and also a briefing at the DC's office. So we want to apologize, especially for those who came from very far and who have been waiting. I hope you have accepted our apology. Basically, we are here in mpongwe because I invited the Minister of Land. In fact, I invited the two of them, the immediate past Minister of Land and the new Minister of Land. They are in my province to try and sort out some issues to do with land. Yesterday we were in Kalusha and Kitwe, on Sunday we were in Indora, and today we are going to mpongwe. So one of the burning issues the issue ya kukuloko abengi beshibire ya farm wakale baleta Daar farms. So we are trying to find the solution to that issue. That's why the minister is here, so that he can hear from both sides. And first, when she went to Achakumfumu, so stakeholders. I'm sure during introductions, we are already affected. Then we had a representative about Daar farms. Even though our desire with the minister would have loved the owner himself to be present here, because we don't want to have a situation where I hope we want to go that way. So we try to push us on impinge because we are going to Sakanya from here to that border. We want to start with it. Our data represent Daar farms. From there, we are affected or available. And then if there will be one or two other people to add and subtract, we will allow that chance. But can you, if you can move over, now we will work for that will be repetition of issues. If you see that the issue was handled or someone talked about it, better we leave it so that we save time. Like I've said, we have to rush to Sakanya. So after you submit everything, I'll ask the Honorable Minister to respond and tell us the way forward, all of us. So tatikire pokuliba tibalanishinga representative
Jeremiah kabisa.
Jeremiah imoto wa kutatikira emwa. Omba vimwagendera mwenge fishishipo kulaba kukwata pona ulipo. But all the same, vampashiwa swetele kumulina wapo. Onkanyeni.
Never nina ko kampani ngafika bala bila sitaka. Ni kwa mpongwe farming.
Sasa mimi ni hapa so that abantu bale monene. Mimi tamani kwa mara sekto kana.
Let's go ya chelo ya lese chungona.
You are connected to Rwanda Zesco, which one?
From Kapili.
Oh, another province. Okay.
Never na la machina ni Jeremia kabisa. Ulianda bomba zi farm manager farm ya Mpongwe farm. Ukuisa kwa nine wafuno na kwa pakati ukukusa no kuliko pa bantu abekere mu farm ne bantu na ba company besu. Company yetu ya registreri farm mu 1987. Riba ritiko. Mkwiti kwa ila sosioni. Ile bashireri farm bali bomberemo byalirepa under receivership. Wapintire farm ani ndafamu efifyo bambi bayishibira okuteti ni ndafamu efifyo baberesha be. Ndafamu ali bomberemo mu lya farm. Ukulingana na receivership yakwele yakwile mu 2019 era bakusho kulonga katundu yawe yonse kine ngombe cha longa. Era twayishire ne musungu wandi boss wandi John Clayton. Uzamu kubona ali farm efifyo barefu mu badafa. Ile twayishire twasangire wa mbukwingira abantu imite turi bafure dafa mwalire pantu mire yakweta yalipo bwino tara ile ko kumubya kwati nonde se kitando so abantu mukubona kwa bali zati ili famu leta shani dafa mwafibwa afirika bali abeni bali shate mwini we famu so abantu bali amiro kwingira to twalire kuri ba DC by then ben bali mbakisi maira bali basambishe umfeli abwelo mwine krito mwini we famu Mpongwe famu. After kubasambisha katuya na kuliba chief tennis racer na bakatubasambisha na kuliba chief mwinu ekula bila kwati bali abantu bayingira konga be makale penka hapa kani tukabese tubombe bwino tukala tukeshe fya uchiteri famu chikuba abantu befulo kunyira mu famu aba bayingira ko benka babarekeni kuma mu 2019 bali bakupenda okuba sana kwa mu na kutisanga sai bali bakupenda bali bani. So 2019 after twawelera ku Lusaka 2020 twaliyamira kupoka malipoti ya abantu nomba bambu kushira ko fimu farm bambu kushira sanku cheki nyama na kalama farm permit ya leperwa kufuma kwa bachifu mwino no kufiteke mbepe kwa bachifu tenesresa tani shabwene pona mkumo singa poka pona nguli mo permit so kufuma kwa twaliandika byo kuchita consult ya machifu chilishani bachifu mwino na watu australia wenabo bali abantu wanyere create net penga pa makane sibapera konomba mafamu permit bala fanya kuisata ne what fish with so yali twalire paka nomba famu ile full yonse te famu ile full abantu bayishwa kale na chitoro kabali ababekali paka kuisoele bena balia kale bayingire kana dafa mwali basanyiro kuba ko mulandu ile mpanga ufumapo bayishire mu badafa takunga chitwa po develop ile yonse so bali alirati bali abantu bena kwetu kona boy kulwana bo tukesamu kwambara bwino yonka ya mukubombo kwa watu nenga putula kwempanga bali abantu kambosha ku government ine kaba chite seto uko kutuka kutulempa so nomba abantu bayishire ku 2019 kusapansha hapa epali nkondo nomba hapo atwalemo kuisa kuma police kujama police cases kwa jama court cases ukubachaja ma criminal trespass bali abantu pano tachiruko kwa abantu barukisha bali bachisa ko na lero ati last year bana bwana ni September 2023 in 2024 ine kabisa nabo ukubakanya ko ni bali twaleze bali mabambe limene na mumuri mukumanya mavala ya musungwa ka Bambi bali affect ne pariadi ya musungu kale katabanga tobamanya. So kufumapo ero ba boss banjule to engage ba Minister of Lands by then last year kwa libaona lepo muchima. So bali likababona na kabapanga na kwa bakisaba kabone babona lepo number unfortunately tabashi. Ero baambiro ko bati tukabona na meeting ina baona lepo so kwa masebo baba chinja bali aba mwaya bambi mu office. So kufumapo ama appointment ya bwati tayabire through na bukumo twati tababonene for shitshinka twanje bire nemwe musungu ati tatunga bana na baona kubona na kwa chilingo kubanze lero tubabona kuno nomba bali kwete ko filmi ya kutsiteri babebere nishi ku filmi fyo bale tsiteso bali ntubinete webo ko ya compre bakwambala ba minister deni wakunjeba na kabiri nano kapanga appointment kabiri kai konfre na nebe nemwe ku ba minister ekola bila kuandinewo ikona ate
bambita mungaya tapalipo propose oyo bamwewe mpongwe ati ilili ashinemo kani twati tukitefi kutontonkanya kwanje kuchitefi tapalipo vini
epo filifyo na chifokolwa ifepo fili propose ilipo yakwe bati kani fyaliendele bwino iliyo shina chikumya kweli yakwe bati ukubweresha imbi afu over afu ukubweresha ko state
amushimpula amanani
amafigures
efamulabire ni area ilinga bukuru
area oyo
propose kani kubwesha defanga kite so that abantu bonfu
area yoso bukuru ili 66,100 hectares. So paliyo 66,100 proposal ya balifoku kubweresha ku state 36,000 hectares eyi balifoku kubweresha ku buteke. Ili ashala kwa hiyo balifana batu bakabombelemo gani ubuteko basumisha tubabombe bakabombelemo nombo kukwasha. So iyi 36,000 hectares ewe bati bengaba nyako bali abantu abekere munya abagupengere mipuno. Katukana shako.
Any question? Kiwe mewange kalaba ushakuti mwaishi wabantu abekere mu mpanga ni namba ya bantu tayishikiwe wengi kwa kutikano namba exactly figure in the chishi tatunga benda kutatunga chita percentage. Okay. Kali mwati mubike byati kwenda kuti baba mu mashani Afrika mafama zabali mu ndabona pati imibenga tutapari 10,000 pari maybe 8,000 or 10,000. Okay, jiwe imetwa tota. Watota wangeka watota mama. Wano twa kumfa kuli babo abalikuima kanida kwa abantu. Mamvumba kirondolo era balikulabira ati impanga katika mu 2019 wale olabya abantu bambi balisane mapemiti kuisa bali kukula bali so wano wabene wale ati yo kwayo kuchitevi mwamfa byose kibalondola so tumfwe kona mwebo fi abali affected ifiki bali representative
Thank you so much. My full name is Stewart Mambo. I'm the chairperson for Karuhiso, the said affected area under the far back then in 1970,
mwenza mlemo kwa kizungu akonkanyepo ulaba talukumfu hapo kizungu. Okay, all right.
This farm used to belong to the state. It was land by Ridico. And later on, Ridico had given it to Zambia State Insurance. Zambia State Insurance in 1997 had sold it to mpongwe Farms, where Derek Anderson William is director. And the one who is claiming for this land as director by the names of John Creighton William is a member or shareholder. And the wife, Juliet Creighton, is a secretary who is not holding any share into it. And the three of them, two of them, the secretary and the director, are British. And the Creighton Jones is Irish. What happened before 1997, when Creighton came to own this land, 1993, we had about 1,000 farmers in there who settled into that land when Zambia State Insurance left before they sold it to mpongwe Farms. So when mpongwe Farms came to buy this land, he just bought the land without going through to survey and see where people are and the part which has got no people. So he bought it and abandoned the farm. From time immemorial till now, we have never seen any single solid, any single crop of any seed. We have never seen any animal kept by him. We have never seen him doing anything. I heard my opponent was just saying that some people are farming in the fields which them were farming. I don't know if we have to take you today, Honorable, if you can point any place to say this was a field, even 10 years ago. So we started, as you know, we are human beings, we get married. And what happens, once you are married, you become fruitful. So others are born, growing, and the chiefs are giving us land to continue farming through their council elders, the commonly known as Chilolos. So we continued living like that. Not until, equally the same he said, the whole farm is fully occupied as at now. It's completely occupied. There is no any space where one can be moved from this part to the other part. And as it is now, mpongwe is developing because of the same farmers. In number, last year in September, we did census through our headmen. We, as a committee, we called all the headmen to find out each one how many people, how many farmers are in his register. And we found that we have about 10 to 15,000 farmers, well, 15 to 30,000 citizens with national registration cards.
How many?
15 to 30,000 citizens with NRCs, and 10 to 15,000 farmers, those who own land in there. Then this Creighton Jones came last year September, started going through our fields, chasing people here and there. I've got, I think, one of the headmen, the one who is seated there, Mr. Mazur. He's Chiloro from His Royal Highness Chief Mwinuna. And Mr. Siso, where is he? He's there, he's Chiloro from Chief Mwinuna also. Creighton and his people started visiting their homes, picking their ox plows. Even as at now, if I'm not mistaken, I think they are still with him. He has not given them back. In other people, he was getting motorbikes, bringing them to police. And I think the police can confirm that they kept somebody's motorbike for a very long period. If not mistaken, that person got his motorbike because of the help of the MP, which was impounded for about maybe 3 months or so. So as we continued living, when we saw to it that we are now affected, he continued. Sometimes he would come in somebody's field, ride a motorbike, him and the other guy together with his manager. They will be riding, rounding them with motorbikes where one has planted, destroying crops. So we thought it was unfortunately for him to behave like that to us. Instead, we called our people to remain calm, not to fight him. Then we wrote a letter to the district commissioner's office, one to the member of parliament, the other one to Honorable Minister of Lands, by then Honorable Mchima. Then the other one was written to the Republican President of Zambia. And the Republican President of Zambia responded to us through a letter which they wrote to our PSE. That was last year. Then from that time, by then, if I'm not mistaken, our Director Lands there, Crispin Chaewa, was the acting land commissioner. He instructed us to go and visit people from the province, where he sent 2 copies that the provincial will come and do fact-finding mission, so that they issue a report to him in order for him to easily have access for decision-making, of which we waited since last year till date. We didn't see officers from Daar. Then, as we were waiting for the same, we decided to continue living and developing the land. Later on this year, September again, the same Creighton came now with police officers from, I don't know, a year Campus. And when they came, they started now threatening us. There were issues of when you are passing through the gate, entering Nampamba gate, the gate which belongs to Zambia, it does not belong to them. They have not faced anything. They will begin to say, no, you're NRC, you don't have your national registration card, you're not passing through. So we felt intimidated. Then we wrote a letter. That day we were grateful because our provincial minister was here. So we tried by all means to find means and ways and met him. So we delivered a copy to him. And finally we came to the DC's office. I think we were attacked on that day. The DC can confirm we were over 2,000 there at his office. So finally we came here for a meeting. We were told what Creighton told us, and we didn't agree. We are not agreeing, and we don't think we will agree for some reasons. And the reasons are simple. If I own 20 hectares, then you move other people from 30,000 hectares. Then you bring them to where I am. How many hectares am I going to remain with? If you give me a hectare, when I plant 15 hectares of maize, 5 acres of soil, where am I going to send my animals for grazing? It will not work. Secondly, we wrote a letter again this year to the minister. That time, I think Honorable Mchima was still in office towards the period when they almost did reshuffles. And we wrote a second letter to Honorable Matambo, which we left in Daar. I think Honorable you saw the letter. The other day, it is me you were talking to when you told me I'm at the airport waiting the president as we were traveling to Chambada. Then we wrote a letter again to PS. We went and met with PS physically, I think twice or 3 times this year. The other time, it was unfortunately our honorable minister was admitted to hospital, if I'm not mistaken. Then we also had a discussion with Director Lands, where we came to discover that this issue we are talking about, it seems like it's almost a done deal, because this land was once repossessed. As it is now, it is on a caveat. This caveat was placed on Gazette number 5521, under Gazette Notice number 526 of 2006. And the whole reason was to compulsorily acquire the said property for the interest of the people, the public. And we feel we are the public, since we are the Zambian citizens. And our appeal to the government is to continue the process of this gazette, which His Excellency Levi Patrick Manawasa State Council had placed under the Ministry of Lands through the Honorable Minister Judith Kangomagabi Jimpanga and the Permanent Secretary by then. The said Creighton has got a number of issues which we disagree with. In most of the times when he comes, he will threaten us that he's a Zambian when he is not a Zambian. I don't think Honorable there is any Zambian with the national registration card which ends with his stroke too. Unless maybe somebody tells me that he's a double citizen. Therefore, I repeat my statement that we as the 30,000 settlers of Mpongwe, Kalukwiso, sitting on the farm number 4809, which is sharing boundaries on the two chiefs, Her Royal Highness Chief Tyness Lesser and His Royal Highness Chief Minun, do not agree to move out and leave our developed properties. We've got boreholes in there. We've got houses in there. There are mansions. We've got paddock farms in there. And at the same time, we've been grading roads all over, going through the farm, using council graders with our own resources. Honorable, I'm speaking before this chamber, the council officers, they agree with me that we contributed the money on our own. In the same land, we have got about 6 health posts. We've got about 6 polling stations. We've got about 2 secondary schools and 6 primary schools. Those are government properties built for us. So if you are to move us out, where are we going to be voting from? If we are to move out, what will be the use of those schools? What will be the use of those health posts? So our appeal to you as the Republic, the government of the Republic of Zambia, is to find a solution on how to handle this matter properly. We will be grateful if you get this Creighton to alternative land, since he has nothing to lose out of there, apart from the money he spent to buy the land. If you go there, the house which they call, I heard him saying some are near my boss's yard. I don't think you can point any place to say here is a yard. Some council officials here accompanied us when the president assigned a team from Ministry of Local Government, which came here and went there for fact-finding mission, where they found a house where a white man sleeps with 3 asbestos and the other part is demolished. I think you can get that whole fact information from Ministry of Local Government, and if possible, you can go and view the site. There is literally nothing that he's doing there. Thank you so much.
Okay, so the other stakeholders is the council. So the council will say something, the DC can also say something. So the council representative from the council, I think you've taken this issues from both sides, the ones who are affected and the ones who are claiming that the owners of the farm, the representative. So maybe let's get 2 minutes or 3 minutes comments from the council. If they have something to say, if they don't have, you say you don't have.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Ministers, as you heard from the representative of the affected, they never spoke us with any letter regarding the land in question, which is they copied the DC, the MP, councils left out, so we are blank, completely blank. The information we are getting news from here that this is how the issue at Daar farm is. Councils never involved in the issue. So
okay,
we
so
are
saying the DC has something to add.
The DC.
And then the MP will also say something.
Thank you. Yes, I wish to affirm on the point that they had come to the office, and for that matter and for that reason, yes, we sat and then I was giving them counsel
so that they go back and that the government was going to do something about it in terms of negotiating with Mr. Clayton so that they can still remain whilst we are finding a lasting solution. Not only that, even before that, we were pleading. Jeremiah Gavisa is my witness. One time I summoned him to say, please leave these people so that they can stay. And when we had a meeting, I think they left out the aspect of the meeting here that has been left out. We were also doing the same. We're trying to negotiate and plead with Mr. Clayton so that they can stay. And we had planned to go there. That was maybe a Monday, no, a Tuesday. But meanwhile, the MT went there. I don't know what they agreed to that effect. I think that's what I can say. Thank you.
MP, I think you can also say something.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ministers, for all the attendees. I think as a regular member of Parliament, when I received this information, of what the information I got from the people who are affected, they were told not to do any farming activity this year. So as a member of Parliament, I was very much concerned. That's how, when I came during the weekend, that's how I went there, and at least there was a meeting which was attended by multiple people, and they explained to them and assured them that as a member of Parliament, I must always be to the side of the people, of which what we discussed from that meeting, I even delivered to the Honorable Minister of Land. That's how people today, they have even done the farming activities in that land. So I've been talking to Clayton with him, in fact from the committee. There's information that the only hectare which will be given back to the people is 10,000 hectares. That's how the people were against that decision. So after talking to Clayton, he came now and said, but there is misinformation, because the manager was saying 36,000, him was saying 38,000 hectares. So we need to have a clear information so that people can get the facts from what they are saying. So last week, Clayton told me, he was questioning me over the tower which have been constructed in his farm. Why has Zita constructed a network tower? I told him that the network tower has come because they are settlers who are staying there, and they are Zambian, they are polarized to communication. So I told him that he told me that no, they were not supposed to do that because that land is in dispute. Of which I told him that no, we have got no control over that, because Zika, when they come on the ground, they cite a place where network can be at least adequate to the people. So that's how they came, and that area was cited as the best place to construct a network tower. I think according to the information I have on this land, that's what I can say. I think the more information I delivered to the minister, and Clayton was supposed to meet the minister, of which he did. We are expecting him to come here so that he tells us the truth, of which was going to be taken seriously by the people who are affected. I think that's what I can say about the issue. Thank you.
Okay, now we can now listen from the Minister of Land.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ministers. I wish to confirm to the gathering that sometime this year on the date of that, I recall attending a meeting called by Honorable Mchima, at which Mr. Clayton and his lawyer were present. without taking away from what has been said, while we agreed to attend the meeting, we were told from the get-go that the matter was in court. The lawyer was there, but that Mr. Clayton was willing to resolve this matter outside court. Honorable Ministers, as you are aware, the court can exclude a settlement outside court. So the minister was made aware it's a matter in court, but that Mr. Clayton was willing to sit down and negotiate. What was made very clear to him at the time was that yes, we had heard what he was saying, but that until we made a fact-finding mission on the ground, such as the one we are doing, Ministry of Lands would hesitate to make a decision. That's what, in short, I can say I know about this case. And it is true. The settlers have been to my office on several occasions, as late as last week. And we have continued to tell them that wait, we are coming, wait, we are coming. I think even 2 days ago, that's what I can say. We didn't delve into the legality or whatever. Perhaps the Commission of Lands may have done that. For me, what I focused on was that we are going to visit 4809 in mpongwe, after which we'll go back and strategize. Thank you very much.
Can we have another official from the Minister of Lands? If they want to add anything on what the PS has said? Minister of Land, the other officials?
I think the most important question that I can ask Minister of Land is to confirm whether this farm is titled. I think that information is important. Before we even start discussing it in here. So stop being timid. Let's have information here, please.
Yeah. So the Minister of Land, to tell this August House that is this piece of land we are talking about titled or it's not on title. That information is important.
Honorable Minister, this has been a titled land and that's the reason why there are so many judgments on this property.
Titled to who?
It's titled to who?
As far as I can remember, that was indicated. Daar.
Daar farms.
What's the correct information so that the minister is not... What's the correct information?
It's the representative from Home Development.
But when we were coming here, we didn't look at the title. We just went without even basic information. Without the television.
Because if he's going to...
It is
It's titled in whose name? That's the question. So
under mpongwe Farms Limited.
Huh?
Under mpongwe Farms Limited.
Is that the first owner?
No.
Now the name of the title is under mpongwe Farms.
That's the current name.
Yes, the current.
Since when?
Since 1997.
Since 1994. Before that, it was under what name?
It was under Lukanga Investment Company Limited.
Lukanga. Who was
That
Lukanga?
is the
Government
legal-
or private sector?
It was a private sector.
Before Lukanga, it was who? Was Lukanga the first owner?
No, it was Tobacco Board of Zambia.
It was privatized.
Yes, that was the TV, Tobacco Board of Zambia.
Which year was it given to or bought by Lukanga?
On that, I am not very sure on that question.
Okay, so basically what we are confirming is that the land is titled.
Yes.
Is anybody here who has information that this title is fake according to their base of information? Or we are all agreeable that this is a clean title? I think it's important for me. So those of you who have settled there, those of you who are in government, is there anybody here who has information that this title, that we have heard, that this land is on title, have any information to say or to claim that yes, this land is on title, but to the best of our knowledge, this is a fake title. We know about fake titles. It's not a strange thing. We know about corruption. It's not a strange story. Anybody with that information, please put up your hand and give me that information. None. Okay. Does anybody wants to add anything or subtract anything? Either from government department or from NGO department or from civil society?
I've said you wanted to say
From
something.
the public.
You are from where? So just mention your name and where you're coming from.
Good afternoon, ministers. My name is Moro Cretias, the Pumbo Ward Councillor, the whole of the ward where the affected people stay. First of all, I'm very happy to have you here because this issue has been tormenting my mind. People have been troubling us so that we need this issue to be resolved. And for sure, these people, they are Zambians and they need development. It has become difficult for us as governments, as politicians who are looking after them to take development there because the information that we have is that this land is on title. But we don't know if this title, it is a clear title or maybe it has some issues. According to the information, like what my chairman mentioned there, he said that we heard that it was repossessed in 2006 during our president. And maybe responding to the question that the minister posed, me I can say that this title is not a clean title. Thank you. And in conclusion, sorry, as government, as we are going back, please help us to resolve this issue as soon as possible. Because these people, they need education. The students, they need education. We don't have a clinic there. The only clinic that they are using is from Zambia, from Pamba. The one that helping us.
You have said, according to yourself, it's not a clean title. What makes you say it's not a clean title?
Because I saw a document. May I have that document? I saw a document which showing that this farm was repossessed.
Okay, so you are basing on the
you
are basing your statement that President David Manawasa tried or did possess under compulsory acquisition.
They put what does it? Yeah, cadets.
Who put a caveat there?
The Ministry of Land.
Put a caveat.
Yes. Because of some reasons.
Okay.
Yes. And maybe I can present the same document. We have the. It will come.
So, Minister of Lands, can you tell me on the issue of the caveat, whether there's a caveat on this piece of land, and who has put the caveat?
Yes, there is a caveat placed by the PS.
Placed by?
The permanent secretary. Then.
PS.
Which ministry?
Lands.
The PS Lands put up a caveat.
Yes.
Which PS? This PS or the previous?
The previous one.
Which year was that?
I just confirm one register. And so for that, the issue of the compulsory acquisition.
No, let's finish first of all the caveat. Because when you put a caveat, you must have a reason. Don't just put a caveat.
So according to the lands register, it reads, caveat not claiming an interest on behalf of His Excellency, the President, and established under Gazette Notice number 526 of 2006 to compulsorily acquire the said property. So the caveat was placed with the intention of compulsorily acquiring.
Which year was that?
This was in 2006, 22nd September 2006.
So the caveat, which was put by the permanent secretary, if I may just say that the caveat was put by a permanent secretary on behalf of the government, on behalf of the president then, with the intention of getting this land away from whoever was owning it, from the private sector, in the public interests. I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
So did that go through?
Okay, the background to this is that the compulsory acquisition was registered at a certain point, but it was quashed through a court order. So they now try to attempt to undertake the same process a second time.
So when the then government tried to acquire this land on behalf of the people or on public interests, the owners went to court.
Yes, ma'am.
And challenged that.
Yes.
And when they went to court and challenged that, what did the court say?
The courts quashed the compulsory acquisition.
So it meant that the court sided with the owners of the land against the state.
Yes.
That's what happened.
That is what transpired.
Which year was that? 2006.
The order quashing the compulsory acquisition was in 2006. July 2006.
Okay. So I'm reading this registers from lands register. It's a government document, and it reads permanent secretary is putting a caveat and the Ministry of Lands. And the nature of the document, according to this document, says the caveat being entered, claiming an interest on the land on behalf of His Excellency the President, and established under Gazette Notice number 526 of 2006 to compulsorily acquire the said property. And the area was for the whole farm, area 66,102.0429 square meters. So there was a register caveat put that is correct. I'm reading this what we are all together, so that there are no rumors. Okay? So after that, have we attempted again to enter a caveat on the land by successive governments? Yes or no?
No, the position as of now is that there is a caveat, so nothing can be done on it.
So this same government caveat.
Yes.
Okay. So nothing can be done can be done because the government has put an interest on the said land, except that we have lost in a court of law.
So, in as much as there was a question of the compulsory acquisition.
What does the law say? Maybe you are not a lawyer, so you can guide us. You are lawyers.
So the effect of what happened is that they intended a compulsory acquisition never took effect because of that quashing order. And as at now, the caveat indicates that there is an intention to follow through with compulsory acquisition. So where we stand, what we've demonstrated is that the state intends to compulsorily acquire the property. And that's why there exists Gazette Notice, which was the basis upon which the caveat was registered.
So, this is clear. There was an intention by government, and this intention went to court, but the courts disappointed government. They quashed that application. But it has remained there because that has been the desire of the state to acquire that land on behalf of the people. Except it has not been done. Is that what you're trying to say?
So the effect of the last entry of the register is that another notice was issued.
Then was the
That's where
2006. The last entry on the lands register.
But 2006 is the one you're telling us about. And then when was the question by the court?
It was in the same year.
Same year.
But
So
that
after that,
was
what has happened?
So after the compulsory acquisition was quashed, the state still went ahead to place a notice in the Gazette of its intention to compulsorily acquire. So the intention to acquire compulsorily is still there. And that is the basis upon which the caveat was registered. So in as much as there was a quashing order of that compulsory acquisition.
How does the state relate to the judiciary? Maybe you can educate me. I take the matter to court, I lose in court, so what am I supposed to do next?
There is an option of appealing.
So have we appealed?
I will need to clarify with the AG's office over that.
Okay. So asking questions in order for all of us to understand. Government officers, because even the government may not have all the information, just like I'm also learning some of the things from here. And I was hoping that by coming here, I can get more clarity from those that live here, from the chief, from the locals, from the local leadership, and even from those that came on that land to settle on that land. And then together we can see how we move forward. What is only unfortunate is that the owner of the land is not here. He has sent a representative. Now you know, such a you can't send a representative. You know what I mean? You can't send a representative. Because if I may ask him, do you have authority to make a decision here with us?
No.
No. So you're just here to tell us the story just like everybody's telling stories here, isn't it? It's just a story. But it has no bearing in terms of decision making. In short, you have no power to make.
No power to make a decision.
You're just telling me a story like the DC told me a story, and another one gave me a story, even the senators gave a story. So, we have heard, but I'll make some few comments based on this story, because it's important. And I want to start by saying, do you want me to stand or to sit?
Yes.
No, me, I can do anything. Sit. Like, the press, I should sit. Okay. As you heard from the provincial minister, we are on the Copper Belt as Minister of Lands to look at issues of land. So this is just one of the big issues, because this is a big issue, but there are many issues. And you saw earlier went to see the chief, Her Royal Highness Chieftainess Lesa, and you heard publicly what she had to say concerning the issues of land. And one of her greatest complaints is simply that land is being, cut from her without her authority. That is what she has stated. And I know, first of all, the former minister myself of local government, this is not the first time we hear this story. These are old historical stories where land in most chiefdoms, people are being displaced. Sometimes for a good reason, people come, they say they want to invest, and the government of the day agrees, thinking and hoping that you can create employment for the people. But sometimes what we see, investors come with a reason for getting the land. When they finish, or when things don't work well, they choose to sell the land, which is also unfortunate. But we've also seen that our people are moving places in search of land. In some places, they go to a chiefdom, or they go to a state land, because they find it's empty. They just go and sit, and they start settling there, and they start farming, or doing whatever business they want to do. Now, we have to be very careful as a country. I listened very attentively to the representatives of the people, and I want to tell you that whilst it's government's responsibility to settle people, any government worth its salt must do that within the confines of the law. Because when you take the law into your own hands and begin to do things with impunity in the name that we are citizens, I can tell you myself that you will lose it as a country. In the same way that you yourself, you go on somebody's land, which is titled, and go and settle without reference to the council, reference to the government of the day, people will come on your farm, and they'll do exactly that. And the police, in some instances, are finding themselves difficult. Because on one hand, they have to save the people, but on the other hand, they have to enforce the law. So for the police, enforcement of the law simply means who has the title. The only issue I've said to the police, as you look at titles, look at them with 3 eyes, not 2 eyes. Because sometimes the title may not be genuine. What do I mean by saying a title may not be genuine? Because somebody may have gotten the title because the mother was a minister of lands. So he just went on somebody's land, went to the minister of lands, and everybody got scared because this is a son or a child of the minister, and issued a title. Those are the titles we call illegal. Or somebody went to the council, bribed the council secretary, she just signed the fake minutes of the council which never took place. Or somebody went to the chiefs and he got a fake stamp. Sometimes you even use headmen, sometimes use chiefs representatives, and you give the money to those people and the titles change. Those are the titles we call fake. Because to get a title, there's a process. If you don't follow the process to get a land, either it's traditional land or state land, whatever land, there's a process. If you don't follow that process, that title, it will look genuine on the face, but we can call it fake. And if the title is fake, we will treat it as such. And at that stage, the state can give up that land because that title is fake. But if the title is correct, I want you to know that the state will not support people just going on people's land to go and settle. Because according to them, they are Zambians. We are not an alien as country. We have international rules, we have national rules, which we ourselves have made for ourselves as a country. And we must obey our own laws. Because if you don't obey your own law, then you're no longer a country. You're a banana state. Meaning you're simply a government and a country without direction. And it means you have no future, you yourselves as Zambians, in such a country. So we want tenure or security of tenure. But security of tenure based on the law. Because this government, like any other government before us and after us, we must all strive to run a government based on the Constitution. Because that's the only Bible that we have in how to run a country. So we can't have a constitution and then we, the same people, we start disobeying that constitution with impunity. You can't go to court, you choose to go to court, and the court rules against you, whether you are government, and you can't come back and say, no, we ignore the court order. We don't do that. And we will not do that. Let's be very clear. Because nobody is above the law. Not the president, not the minister, not the MP, not the mayor, not the commandant ZNS there or police. Nobody. Not even a chief. Nobody is above the law. And it is important that nobody should be above the law. So let's get these principles right. It doesn't matter when you came or you didn't come, but you also have rights. And the rights that you have is to go to court when you feel aggrieved, even about a piece of land. For example, if you've been sitting on a piece of land for 100 years, then somebody appears with a title deed. You have rights. You have rights. And you can go to court. And in many instances, the courts have ruled in favor of the poor who were sitting on a piece of land for 70 years, 80 years, and a rich man came from nowhere with a title deed from Lusaka, Cairo Road, and said they have a title. But in getting your rights, there is a process. We are not going to allow disorderly behavior by our citizens. That we shall not allow. And the police, their duty is to enforce the law. And we are not going to stand and start saying, no, that one is a Tonga, that one is a Rose, so this is not their land. Or that one is a colored, or that one is a white man. We are not going to go in that direction. Because this country, we have invited people to come and work with us in this country. And therefore, there are rules under which land is also administered. No foreigner with a stroke 2 can be given a title. That is the law. So when you find a foreigner with a stroke 2 with a title, it's a problem. The law would cancel that title. But remember, The same law allows certain categories of foreigners that have come as investors using company law, they can get a title under the company. So there are various categories, and your role as chief officers, as government department, is to explain to our people so that they understand these basic things. Don't just be a councillor or a director, just sitting in our offices. We don't explain these things. We have an obligation to explain to our people what is the meaning of all these things. It doesn't have to take a minister to come from Lusaka to start saying what is the caveat, why is this caveat. It's your duty to explain to these people. Why are you timid, first of all, as Minister of Lands, to explain these things to people? Why are you scared to tell the people the truth? You get scared because sometimes you get involved in wrongdoing. So you think that if you stand here and speak the truth, they will say, but this one cut a piece of land which he was not supposed to do. Let's learn to be officers and public officers who are above the law, who are above boards, rather, when we are doing our public work, so that we can discharge our functions effectively. Don't be compromised officers, otherwise work will be difficult. Even you, beyond Ministry of